Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a good day. It's so snowy here. There's a massive blizzard. I know one of my subscribers who said they were in Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota, said that the snow wasn't that bad, but it is so windy, blowy, and wow, we are getting so much snow. It's basically whiteout conditions. So if you are in the metro area in Minnesota, stay safe, everyone. Drive carefully and hunker down for the next few days. You guys, believe it or not, I was not going to do a Duggar video today. I had zero interest in covering anything related to the Duggars. And then I saw this on Claire Spivey's Instagram and I was like, whoa, how did I miss this? We need to talk about this. And whoa, does Justin have his hands full with a very assertive young woman who is not afraid to speak her mind and is coming way out of form in terms of what it's like to be a fiance of someone in the Duggar family. This girl, Claire, is going to give fans a run for her money, if anything, based on her recent responses about mere questions about her ring. All right, but before we get into it, do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up. Also, subscribe down here if you haven't subscribed, and turn notifications on so you know when I go live or new content loads. And also, leave some comments below and let me know your thoughts on this video. Okay, so we've been covering the Justin Duggar relationship with Claire Spivey, and the engagement the courtship announcement was very shocking to fans, obviously, because Justin announced that he was courting her before he even turned 18 years old. And there was some discussion that this relationship had been hidden. Now, I told you guys that someone connected to the Spivey family did reach out to me and let me know that they had been courting for more than a year and that this relationship was very fast-tracked and sort of arranged. Now, there's been some pushback on whether or not it was arranged, but these two families have known each other for a very long time. Both are actively involved in the IBLP, and so I do think that they might have known each other through the IBLP and got permission through their parents to court and then get engaged. The same day that Justin turned 18, they announced their engagement. And fans immediately were like, whoa, how does Justin Duggar, who literally just turned 18, have the kind of cash to plunk down on a ring? Now, rings can vary in price, but she looked like she had a decent sized rock. I don't know, at least half carat, maybe carat. I don't really know. I'm not a ring expert, but my guess is this ring would have cost a couple $1,000s, maybe more, maybe $5,000, who knows? And people were like, where would an 18-year-old kid come up with that kind of cash to have a ring? So immediately fans, when she had her engagement photo and showed off her ring, they started asking her, like, how did Justin afford this ring? Now, the questions that she got were pretty innocuous. They were very basic. The Duggar fans were being very polite. Now, even the Duggar haters can be sometimes really snappy, but I will say that these comments were not at all rude. They were not at all mean. They were just very inquisitive because, like most people who are curious, some do wonder where he came up with the money. Now, most fans would assume that he got the money from dad. That's the natural sort of thought process. Jim Bob might have given him some money for the ring, okay? No one assumed that this was done unlawfully, but Claire jumped to that conclusion immediately, and it was actually kind of bizarre. So first off, this is what she answered: not only questions about where he got the money, but she also admitted they hid their relationship, and the way that she talked about the relationship is kind of odd. So here's what she said. I'm curious about who paid for the ring. Does he have a job or is he still in school? And she said this: Justin paid for the ring. Not a dime of it was someone else's money. He is super motivated and does well at his job. He's been graduated for quite a while and has a full-time job. He also worked part-time while in school, so he prepared to be on his own. So basically, he was saving up money while he was at mom and dad's house, obviously gonna hightail it out as fast out of the Duggars' house as possible, is kind of like what it sounds like. But the Duggars do instill a mindset of saving money. They are part of this whole live debt-free world. They teach their kids about not being in bankruptcy and, only living with what you make. Don't spend outside of your means, all of that. And then when somebody else said this, I'm not curious, I'm suspicious. He's just 18 and they've only been dating for a few months. How would one come up with enough money to afford a ring in such a short period of time? Now, I don't know if they're implying, if this message is implying that this came from fraudulent purposes. To me, it seems more from a suspicious standpoint of, did Jim Bob give him the money? That's how I would take it. And this is what she said. It was not necessarily a short period of time. From the beginning of our courtship to engagement was 14 months. When you wisely manage your finances over the years, they're 18. She sounds like a little adult. She says, when you wisely manage your finances over the years, not just during a relationship, you can afford purchases debt-free by the legal adult age of 18. And since you're not curious, but suspicious as if he's earned his money unlawfully, he hasn't. So the person that then responded to her by saying, exactly, I didn't imply any unlawfulness, but now that she did, I'm curious. And then someone else said, well, it's obvious that the diamond isn't real. It's a cubic zirconia, so it's not like it costs that much. Anyone could afford a CZ with a part-time job or allowances from daddy and future in-laws, which I think is what most people assumed. And they said, also, why did you make your username Claire Duggar on June 29th? And they said, but be honest, Justin and you can and will most probably earn a living through Jim Bob and through your connections with the reality TV show. Most people are probably, with all due respect, dying to give y'all job offers and brand partnerships like Ginger, Jessa, Joy, Lauren, and so many other Duggar kids. This is not the same privilege many 17 to 19-year-olds have. So people were like, very like, you guys are super privileged. Your privilege is showing. And it's interesting that she would jump immediately to unlawfulness, because I feel like there's such a heavy question around some suspectness around Jim Bob. But again, like, she wasn't even really saying unlawfulness. I think, again, as fans were saying, it was about Jim Bob, like the privilege that comes with the show. And then someone asked another question. They said this, I noticed that you said you and Justin courted for 14 months, but on counting on, you announced to the family in May. Is there a stage before official courtship that you guys were in prior to announcing to the family? I'm a Christian as well, but I didn't do courtship per se, but I'm genuinely curious. Wishing you all the best. Marriage is such a blessing. Spending every day with your best friend is the most wonderful gift from God. And she said this, thank you for inquiring. We announced to the family for official documentation in May. So I'm guessing official documentation would be like documentation for the show. And she says, until that time, everyone knew that we were close friends and we chose not to say we were official till May. So it was 14 months. We just kept 8 of them quiet. I appreciate your encouraging words. We are so excited to spend the rest of our lives together. May you have a blessed Christmas season. So obviously she appears to be a little bit sensitive about how this is all playing out. There is going to be a lot of scrutiny on this, and I think people are going to quickly point out that, yes, what you have there is a wonderful ring. Now, someone said it was a cubic zirconia. I have no idea. Like, I think it's hard to make that call from a picture, and who cares? But even if it were, you can still spend a decent amount of money on a CZ type of ring. Either way, he spent money on a ring. She's saying he had the money to do it and it wasn't unlawful. And she immediately goes to this implication that it might have been unlawful, which begs the question, why are they so quick to jump to this assumption when fans literally are just talking about Jim Bob, and then also the privilege that comes with being on the show. And then they hid this relationship for 8 months, basically from everyone, which is weird. Wouldn't he have had to have permission from the family in order to be in this relationship? Or is she just saying they hid it from the family? Because in May, they did the official documentation where they announced it to the family. So they basically were in a relationship for 8 months before anyone knew. How would that even be possible? Because in the world of courtship, you have to get he has to get the parents' permission in order to even be able to court. He's spending time with his family, like a lot. And I don't know, there's so many questions here that are left unanswered, but I am going to say this. I think Claire is in a very precarious situation here. She's young, she's 19 years old. She obviously loves Justin and she is protective of him. But there's also this nuance of being a Duggar wife. And Duggar wives are not sassy. They're just not. They are toe the line, they follow the rules, and they act a specific way on social media. So if this is how she's going to start it off before she even gets married, she's going to give Jim Bob a run for his money. And maybe they don't care. Maybe they don't care that they're going to give Jim Bob a run for his money. But the fact that she is already clapping back and being a little bit abrasive with fans, it's going to be an interesting season coming up when their relationship actually is a focal point of this next season of Counting On, to see how she handles the publicity and everything that comes with it. Because listen, she went from anonymity to being blown up overnight. She's going to go through a process where she has to understand how to interact with the fans. The fans of the show can be very opinionated, and that's not a bad thing. And a lot of them can be very, there is a section that specifically just hate watches the show. And so she'll have to figure out how to navigate and who is worth responding to. But right now, I kind of like the sassiness. And if she does give Jim Bob a run for the money, I say go for it. Now, tell me what your thoughts are about her responses in the comments below. Bye, guys.